with Nina and Banked right now. One of the things that I'd asked you when we were at the K-Rock Festival and looking at Carnival was, you know, some of the stuff that sounded very retro in the first record. And in Carnival, I brought up Sergio Mendes and some of the stuff of the 60s in that period. You know, some of the stuff that borderline on lounge but had kind of a world beat feel to it, and very vocal, like a lot of vocal layers. But I'd also read somewhere that it had a lot to do with the studio that you recorded in, the sound. So how much of that was something that you had thought of and you were conscious of, and how much of it had to do with the recording technique you did?
I think it's equal.
I think it's very much the recording technique, because we never actually listened to that type of music that you mentioned.
Right.
It was more that we wanted to make a retro-sounding album, and I think we created our own 60s sound out of what our parents had told us, what we've seen in movies. We never really listened to any albums from that era.
I think it has a lot to do with the producer, because he's like 15 years older than we, and he grew up with all these 60s
What was
music.
his name?
Tore Johansson.
Right. And was he into a lot of that older stuff?
Oh, yeah.
A really big fan.
I mean, he really grew up with it, and he was in bands in the 60s, so.
You know, in Sweden, I mean, over the years, obviously in the late 60s, early 70s in America, there are bands who would have pop hits like T-Set and Shocking Blue, and, you know, obviously, years later, there were some punk bands like The Thought. But let's talk a bit about the fact that it gets frustrating for bands when you're from Sweden to keep being compared to ABBA or getting people asking about the ABBA references. Does that...
It's not frustrating at all. I mean, ABBA is completely fine. That's a band that we're proud of.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a problem at all. It's more, people seem to believe that there is such a thing as a Swedish sound, a sound that the bands have in common, which is not really true. So it's, I think that's a big misconception that there's a Swedish pop band scene common.
But it's one of those situations, it's something people use as a reference point all the time.
Yeah, but it's the nationality is what we have in common.
Yeah, and that's it. But they did write great pop songs too, right? They wrote great pop songs too, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Some of them, definitely. Anyway, stay here for more with the Cardigans. Right now, it's time for the 120 Minutes debut of the band known as Heat Miser. Been around for a while, and lead vocalist Elliott Smith has some great solo records out too. This is from the record called Mixed City Sons. Here's Heat Miser and Plain Clothes Man.
Everybody